Hey, welcome back to the Flooring Marketing Mastery Podcast. I'm Cameron Hammontree. Thanks for joining me today. And I don't know if you're a big science person or like experiments and things like that. If you remember, maybe back in junior high or middle school or high school or even elementary where you would do these science experiments and you would do the scientific method. You remember all that? I kind of forgot the scientific method, but it was something like where you would make a hypothesis and then you would test out, your hypothesis. You would put it in place, and then you would see if your hypothesis was correct or not. And then you would, write about the findings or whatever. So I see, and I'm starting to see more advertising and marketing to be like that, like to be just a huge science experiment. It's where you make a hypothesis. Specifically, like let's say you're making a marketing campaign for your flooring company on Facebook, Instagram, Google, TikTok, Nextdoor, Pinterest, whatever. It could be a flyer, right? It doesn't really matter the medium. It's the same idea, but you have a hypothesis of like, okay, I think this headline is going to work. I think this image, this video is going to work. This form, this call to action, this creative, whatever it is, and then you start the campaigns or start whatever you're about to do, and then you look at the data, analyze it, and you see, okay, actually this headline was not that great. It did not get a lot of clicks, or this image did not drive a lot of engagement, or this video did not get, a high view rate. So the point of what I'm trying to say is that's all marketing is. Like, in your flooring company, whether it's you doing your marketing, somebody else doing it for you or whatever, that's how it needs to be seen. Is it's a huge experiment, because a lot of times, you can't just set a campaign in place and then just, expect it to work immediately, right? There has to be a testing, and, you'll hear a lot of people say that, whether it's an agency or consulting you're working with or whatever, it's like, hey, we have to test to see what's going to work and what's not going to work. And that's true. And so the idea is like not everything is going to work immediately. You're going to have to sub in new headlines. You're going to have to try new videos. You're going to have to try new images, new calls to action, new button colors, right? There's so many things, new funnels, whatever it is, changing the messaging, changing the offer. And all you're doing is you're just subbing in new things, like one of those things I just mentioned, until it works. That's really it. Like that's a great way to see your marketing for your floor company. That's how I'm starting to see it more, is like, hey, it's going to work. Like in the end, you're gonna make it work. Sometimes it just takes a little bit longer than other campaigns or whatever it would, right? Like I've, in working with lots of different flooring companies on their marketing, like I've seen campaigns that we've run and they have worked within like an hour and don't have to make tons of changes to it, and it just works, and appointments are being booked and jobs are closed and whatnot. And you have some campaigns and some marketing efforts, whatever, where, it takes 3-4 months to like really get it cranking and get it to work and get that proof of concept. Some markets are different than others, and you just can't control how someone's going to respond to your marketing. Like that's one of the downsides of marketing and working in marketing, is like, man, I can't control who clicks on this ad, who doesn't, who fills out this form, who calls us through this, ad, whatever. But that's the beautiful thing about it, is you need to change your mindset to like, hey, all this marketing stuff works. Facebook works, Instagram works, Google ads work, trying to increase our ranking on Google, power partnerships, referrals, word of mouth, email marketing, whatever it is, flyers, carrier pigeons, whatever you're doing. It all works. Billboards, right? Like you can make everything work. It's just a matter of testing. You have to test until you get to the correct hypothesis. So that's very, very brief overview of like just the power of testing, but it's really a mindset. If you can get into this mindset of like, it's not the platforms don't work. If you've had, experience with platforms that didn't work for you marketing wise for your floor company, but it's just a matter of doing it correctly. And to do it correctly and get the result you want out of the platforms, you just got to test more. That's really it. And if you test long enough and do enough things, something's going to work. It's not like 100% guarantee, but like 99% of the time, if you do it for long enough, test enough things, you'll make it work. Just don't run the same thing for a year straight and expect something to change. That's the definition of insanity, right? Where, you're doing the same thing and expecting a different result. So definitely don't do that. Like if you're running a Instagram ad or something and you're just like leaving it and not changing anything about it and you're expecting a different result, that's literally insanity and you don't want to do that. So swap out a new image, swap out a new video, put in a new headline, try a new offer, switch up the funnel, right? So I hope you enjoyed going back in time with me to your middle school days today, to scientific experiments and the scientific method. Hopefully this was helpful. Again, more of a mindset thing, but if you adapt this mindset of testing in your marketing, your floor company is going to be a lot more well off. So I hope you enjoyed today's episode, and I'll see you in the next one.